couple of months. And I am given to understand tomorrow is the day when DCB comes out with the numbers. So I guess that's where he needs to do a churn over here.
Okay, so Mr. Javeri, Finolex has a clear exit and you can look at replacing it with a DCB. But Gaurang, what about the next three stocks then? A Rallis India, Aban Offshore and about 200 shares of an Ajanta Pharma at a price of 400 rupees.
Well, again, Rallis India, good performance. Numbers have been very decent, and with the kind of growth prospect going forward, we are of an opinion that this particular stock would also perform. Aban is one which is considered as a high beta, and you see a lot of volatility. But if you take into question the rigs that they are going to let out and the revenues that will be generated going forward from here on, again, a comfort zone. So if you have the patience and if you have the ability to digest the volatile ups and downs that the stock gives you, stay invested. We could see some positivity emerging from here. So, I mean, Ajanta Pharma, I guess he's making a decent amount of profit. And in terms of his own statement, if he's looking at making about 20-25% per annum, which would possibly double in the next 4 to 5 years' time, then here again the advice is, he can book out part profits in Ajanta Pharma.
The last stock in the mid-cap space, Gaurang, is Karuturi Global, 2,000 shares at that. And then you have the biggies like Reliance Industries, Tata Motors and ITC. So what should Mr. Javeri do?
Well, Karuturi is a straightaway bloodshed in the portfolio. And I think the way the other stocks have performed, the levels that he's bought, it's leveled by the underperformance of Karuturi. He bought it at 25, stock is, I think, hovering around about 4 rupees or 5 rupees. Need to take remedial action over here ASAP, and here I would suggest, of course you will take a huge beating from 25 to 4 rupees. I think your capital gets eroded to a great extent, but prudent to take that remedial step. And my advice would be, if you get out from Karuturi on dips, you could possibly look at Ashok Leyland or TVS Motors, and a conservative, of course, he also expect 20-25% return per annum. You could easily get it in TVS Motors or Ashok Leyland. So you could possibly look at switching again over here. The rest, Reliance Industries, limited upside. Tata Motors, we are positive with a target about 375. ITC, you could see target of 275. The only issue is the deficit drain, which could possibly end up in input cost going up in the short to medium term, thereby margins getting squeezed.
Okay, so Mr. Javeri, stay invested in your blue chips, but it is a Karuturi Global where you will have to take and book your losses. But Gaurang, he's also intrigued and he wants to know the prospects for some of these ADAG names, the likes of a Reliance Power, Reliance Infra, Relcom and a Rel Capital. So what do you make of the group as a whole? Do you think any of these are good buys?
Well, unfortunately not, and I don't know why people are so intrigued by the entire ADAG group. It goes through a lot of volatile times. We are not saying that the entire group is color red, but the one stock that stands out is Reliance Infra. As a disclosure, we have a positive coverage, but at current levels, I think you should not enter the stock. There will be some correction where you will get an opportunity to get into Reliance Infra. So buy on dips will be the strategy. Reliance Power is a absolute avoid. We have a sell recommendation and a reduce on Reliance Power. If you're looking at power generation, NTPC, Tata Power could be the better choice. Reliance Communication, again, a lot of issues in terms of performance. So look at Bharti or Idea. We have positive coverage on these two stocks. Reliance Capital, again an underperformer, and we've seen sharp erosion in terms of price corrections on the lower levels. So here the advice, if you're looking at NBFCs, then we would suggest Bajaj Finserv or Shriram Transport Finance Corporation.
Okay, so out of that entire ADAG basket, Reliance Infra is the only one that Gaurang is suggesting that you could look at buying into. The others, Rel Cap, Rel Power as well as Arcom are a clear stayaways. But Mr. Javeri, let's quickly take you through the portfolio that Gaurang has recommended. So he's suggesting stay on invested in a Lupin, a target of 585 is what you could look at. For a Titan Industries, a whole call, and 280 is the level that you could expect. Finolex was an exit and you could look at replacing that one with a DCB. Rallis India is also a whole call, a target of 165 rupees is what you could look at. Aban Offshore as a whole with a long-term target of 585 rupees. For an Ajanta Pharma, Gaurang suggests that you take your profits off the table, and for a Karuturi Global, it's an outright sell, and in fact you could replace it with an Ashok Leyland or a TVS Motors. Amongst the blue chips then, Reliance Industries is a whole with a target of 785. Tata Motors is a whole call as well with a target of 375. And in ITC as well, you can stay invested in that and you could expect a long-term target of 275 rupees.
But do remember a very important disclaimer from our end for everyone who is watching. This is only a model portfolio and it is very important that you do consult your individual investment advisor before taking any investment decision.
Okay, but on that note, we'll slip into another quick break, but come right back because we'll be getting you 2 trading ideas and fundamental picks from both our experts.
Inflation is going to have a whole set of factors playing independent of what happens on the growth front. So I think the era of very low inflation rates is probably not revisiting us in a big hurry.
Catch Shikha Sharma in an exclusive conversation on ET Interview, only on ET Now.
स्टाइल मारा तो डरना क्या, थोड़ा हीरो बना तो डरना क्या, ओ ग्लैमर ही है कोई चोरी नहीं है, जरा फिल्मी बना तो डरना क्या,
Inflation is going to have a whole set of factors playing independent of what happens on the growth front. So I think the era of very low inflation rates is probably not revisiting us in a big hurry.
Catch Shikha Sharma in an exclusive conversation on ET Interview, only on ET Now.
If you think they are excited about T20 cricket, then think again. India's going gaga over ET Now's latest show, Traders 20. It's where India's top 6 analysts meet on the trading pitch every weekday and give you top 20 stock recommendations of the day on Traders 20. Coming soon, only on ET Now.
Monday to Friday, the market swings both ways. It's time to change the ways to invest.
ET Now presents Your Trades the Week Ahead,
a zesty new show that helps you spice up your portfolio
with all our new recipes for success.
Market fundamentals, chopped, skinned and well done.
So, put your money where your mouth is.
Book your weekend slots with ET Now and taste the spirit of success.
Lovely to have you back with us right here on BNSN Weekend.
Well, time to empower you now with some stock ideas for the next trading week. So let's take it first to Kunal. Kunal, what are you recommending?
Yes, there are 2 stocks which I am recommending, and both on the buy side, because I believe that the momentum for the market is still bullish, and if the market takes supports at crucial levels of 515, and 5200, I think that is a very strong support zone. So I am initiating to buy for a couple of weeks perspective. The first is Aban Offshore. It's excellent chart. It's broken out of the 200 DMA, and if you look historically also, whenever the stock has managed to break 200 DMA, it has shown very aggressive momentum. So I believe that the momentum for the stock would still continue, even if you look at Friday's performance. When the market was probably behaving on a very lackluster kind of a note or a mixed note, this was one of the stock which managed to sustain its momentum. So I'm looking at a target of 460 on Aban Offshore, and someone who's entering at this point can keep a stop loss of 410 from a couple of weeks perspective. The second stock which I am recommending is BF Utility. Yet again an excellent chart in terms of momentum. It's managed to break a range of that 400 barrier, and the moment it traded about 400 and 410 region. It had shown a very strong positive momentum. Again, the stock is just trading very close to its 200 DMA and comfortably above in terms of volume indicators. So I believe that the momentum for the stock would continue. There is a very minor resistance at 490, and even on Friday, this was a level where the stock probably managed to have some sort of resistance. So I think once that is broken above 490, the stock can cruise easily to 525 levels. anyone who's entering now at 470, 480 levels can keep a stop loss of 450 on BF utility. Again, this is from 1 to 2 weeks perspective.
Okay, so over the next week or two, you could look at buying into BF Utilities as well as in a barn offshore. But Gaurang, what are the fundamental ideas that you've identified for us?
Yes, so we have two stock ideas, and first a disclosure on both of them. We do have a positive coverage on both these stocks. That's a disclosure, and we would have recommended them to our clients. So first one is Tata Motors. And the idea over here on both these stocks is that you could possibly identify stocks in the frontline or large cap category which are bottoming out or virtually at its bottom, and there is not much of downside from here. So Tata Motors close to about 330, 335 is an excellent opportunity to get into the stock. There were concerns in terms of JLR and the numbers and the margins thereafter, but all those negativities are short-lived. On the domestic front, on the Tata Motors, the vehicles numbers looked a little bit disappointing, but we hear that they are working on certain strategies and introduction of new engines and models in terms of Nano is concerned. Now we expect on the domestic as well as in the international front the momentum to pick up in terms of month-on-month numbers, which will translate into a decent bottom line and of course profitability. So from here on, your downside is quite protected. At the worst, 220 kind of levels is what you could possibly see on Tata Motors. So keeping your downside protected, we are looking at a target about 375. Since it is a fundamental call, we are talking about 12 to 16 months time horizon. So Tata Motors at current levels also, one can definitely go and buy into it. The second one is Bharti Airtel. The stock is hovering around about 300, 320 for a very long time and consolidating over here. There were issues, DOT, TRAI and the telecom authorities in terms of 2G recommendations that have come to. There have been too much of flip and flop. But we believe that there will be intervention and it would be ruling in favor of the telecom companies. Wherein again, with the kind of presence that Bharti has and of course not only in the domestic market but also in the overseas category, we expect the revenues to look quite robust going forward from here on. So your worst case scenario, your downside could be close to about 300 or 285. But your uptick could be as much as 400 rupees. As a disclosure, our earlier target was 445. But keeping in mind the kind of momentum and of course the renewal of 2G licenses which will come across very soon, we have reduced our target to 400. So Tata Motors a target of 375, Bharti Airtel a target of 400, and both the stocks with a time frame about 12 to 16 month time horizon.
Okay, that's the fundamental stock ideas that you can watch for. But with that, we'd like to thank both our experts for joining in on the show, both Gaurang as well as Kunal. But with that, we wrap it up right here on Buy Now Sell Now Weekend.
But do remember to tune in on these timings to your favorite show every weekend, Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock, Sunday afternoons at 2 and Sunday evenings at 8 p.m.
Okay, I'm really disappointed. I've seen the Pepsodent Dishum film.
कैंडी खाते हो, चॉकलेट खाते हो, ये खाते हो, वो खाते हो, सड़ जाएंगे, दांत सड़ जाएंगे.
All in all, I think it doesn't work. Really, what doesn't work in the film? I mean, message comes through. I don't like the acting. Nothing works in the film. But I'm willing to bet on this one. Just put it on evidence. If this doesn't work, then you're going to tell them to us, get the share of the business. Therefore, before they do all that, if this doesn't work, I'll get out of the advertising. That's the deal.
Pepsodent का काम है ना?
Okay, if it doesn't work,
नहीं यार.
you know what to do. But if it does work, I'll buy you a bottle of champagne.
Brought to you by Get Lucky, Get Active on Monster.com. LG Air Conditioner with Inverter V technology.
नशा है, craze, absolute madness. Stardom किसे नहीं चाहिए? पर धक्के खाते हैं फैंस पाने के लिए पहले धक्के खाने पड़ते हैं. फेम, नाम, शोहरत बैठे बैठे नहीं मिलती. You have to eat dust. या शायद नहीं.
मनी बैक, वो भी रेगुलर इंटरवल्स पर। SBI लाइफ, स्मार्ट मनी बैक इंश्योरेंस, फ्यूचर गारंटीड।